questions. Okay, I guess I can.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, how would you describe Healing Paws to people?
Healing Paws is a volunteer organization. It's under the SOSD umbrella. And what Healing Paws does is what we call animal-assisted activities, which means volunteers bring their own pet dogs to go and visit with people living, say, in the elderly home or in the children's home or in the hospitals to bring them some joy and some cheer. Yeah.
I think I need to add on to that.
Sure.
So, okay, Healing Paws is under SOSD, which is an animal welfare organization. We rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome Singapore's stray dogs.
Yeah.
So, I guess the purpose of Healing Paws is also to bring dogs to parts of Singapore or communities in Singapore that would not otherwise have access to dogs, and we show them that dogs actually have a way of reaching into our hearts and bringing like joy and meaning to our lives. So hopefully we can create like a more compassionate and caring Singapore society, and also make people more like us empathetic towards the plight of Singapore's stray dogs.
The only person, I guess, who's more excited than me about going to work is my dogs, I think. They get really excited when it's time to go for work, and I'll call one of them. I have 2 dogs, Telly and Hope.
Yeah.
And so I'll tell them, hey, Telly, you're on duty today, or Hope, you're on duty. And then they get ready and they run to the door, put on their leash, and get ready to come to work.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy going to work with my best friends,
right?
And I think my favorite part is not just about being able to go to work with my dog, which is a lot of fun, but I think it's about seeing the joy that my dog brings to my clients. At Pawsibility, I work with a lot of people with different kinds of conditions and challenges, and when I see how my dogs are able to break down barriers and reach into people's lives, I think for me that is the most amazing part, I think.
What about misconceptions about animal-assisted therapy itself? Is it something where any random therapist can pick up a dog and do therapy?
Absolutely not, and it's a really great question, I think, because a lot of people think, if I have a great dog at home, let me bring my dog to work, and but the thing is that I think both the therapist as well as the dog needs to be trained in animal-assisted therapy in order to be ethical and to be able to fully harness the potential of animal-assisted therapy.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not just about the magical dog. I have a great dog at home, let me bring my dog to work. So much work. So Telly was trained in the US, and we put in so much training and effort into her before she can do her job right now.
But there's also animal-assisted activities, right? Which is different. So that's for like any pet owner with like certain dogs can participate in.
Exactly. So like volunteers at Healing Paws, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a wonderful dog at home, that wants to volunteer, and you have a good heart, and you love visiting people in elderly homes or in children's home, I think it's a really good avenue for pet owners and their wonderful dogs to come together and do something for a worthy cause.
I feel that we need to maybe dispel some misconceptions about the animal-assisted activities dog. So we want when we're looking for people for our program, we're looking for people with dogs who actually enjoy interactions, right? And a lot of times I feel like volunteers they assume that their dogs really enjoy interacting with strangers, but their dogs show a lot of signs of stress. Or that perhaps they're maybe not stressed, but they're not really enjoying the activities because they would much rather chase a ball or have a hike or something like that, right? So I don't know, maybe we just want to advocate for people who for people to be more in tune with their dogs, maybe. You have a really amazing relationship with Telly. So how do you work on that?
So I think the important thing is figuring out what your dog likes or doesn't like. There's some dogs who just really want to sit and cuddle up with you and watch television, and that's your own personal therapy dog, right? But then there are dogs like my dogs Telly and Hope. Whenever they go out, they want to say hi to every stranger that they meet. It really makes their day when a stranger comes up to them and pets them, and dogs like that make really good therapy dogs to visit with people. Very cool.
Next
so my turn, right? Okay. How do you think Healing Paws help others in the trouble that they face?
Okay, so for Healing Paws, what we do is we visit different partner organizations like old folks homes, kids homes, community hospitals. So the objectives of each visit depends on the organization we visit. So for community hospitals like Taiwan, we love to talk about Taiwan, right? the uncles and aunties there are on rehabilitative care, right? So they are there for a period of about maybe a couple of weeks to a couple of months, and they are recovering from like strokes or like physical conditions, right? So what our dogs do for this session is we have 3 different stations, and one's the fetch station, which Telly loves, right? Then there's the petting station and the grooming station. So each station works on a particular aspect of recovery. So for the fetch station, they the uncles and aunties throw balls and they work their motor skills and strength. And then for petting, the dog sits on their lap. Sorry, for grooming, the dog sits on their lap, and then they hold the brush and they do this to the dog. So there's like tactile sensation thing and like the coordinating the hand as well. And then there's the part where they talk and pet the dog. So that is also like that session restores their sort of like social element, because staying in a hospital can be quite isolating, right? And also we just started this really fun session at Boys Town, right? So we worked with Shanice, who's a trainer, Supernova Dog Sports Academy, I think. So Shanice was a trainer, and she set up a session so that our dog volunteers could be trained by the home residents to do agility stuff. So we actually have a session coming on Wednesday. I'm quite excited because what happens is the boys will be spending 1 hour teaching like our Healing Paws dogs how to do tricks. I mean, it may seem pretty simple, right? Or like, it's just all fun and games and running around, but I mean, I talked to Shanice about this, right? There's this element of like ownership over like your actions and what you do. And because our dog volunteers are very consistent with this training, like each boy gets to see how his interaction with the dog progresses, and how both him and his team, his furry teammate, get better, or like how they learn a skill together. And I think having ownership over your situation, I feel is something that a lot of like persons in like horrible situations may not necessarily feel. So maybe, I'm not sure, I'm not a therapist, but when they have a sense that they have control over some part of their lives, they may feel that maybe more empowered, and this is something, a feeling that can translate to other aspects of their lives. I mean, we only at our first session, but the boys, because we usually visit different kids' homes, right? So the kids take a while to warm up to dogs, especially those who are not very familiar with the dogs. So I was actually a bit afraid when we went for our first Boys Town session. I was like, I wonder if the boys would actually enjoy, or would they, want to touch the dogs. And to my like very pleasant surprise, they were like, immediately they caught on to having the dogs, and they, on the first session, taught the dogs how to jump over like a pole that was like maybe this high. So I mean, it was really amazing progress, and I hope that after maybe 6 months to a year of this program, the boys can sort of sense like a development amongst themselves,
Yeah, I can imagine that's very confidence boosting for them.
Confidence
right?
boosting,
Yeah, to see that, hey, I can do it, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times teens in that situation, they're always given a label where people think that, hey, they're not good enough, or they're being labeled, or getting in trouble, I think. But being able to accomplish something with a dog, I think it's really confidence boosting for them. And that ownership thing that you said, I think it really hits the nail on the head, right?
Yeah.
And just being able to see that how their actions are able to make a difference. And I think hopefully that's a lesson that they can take away with them as well, right?
Yeah. And it's a really fun session,
I mean, I can imagine it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
You're missing out.
I know, right? My dogs would have loved that. Yes.
Yeah. My name is Stasha. I'm a volunteer for SOSD, formerly Save Our Street Dogs. I am the secretary for the organization, and I'm also the coordinator of the Animal Assisted Activities Initiative, Healing Paws. So I'm also a student at the NUS Yongsi-Do Conservatory of Music, doing a minor in political science, and I'm also a bass player in the band The Good Life.
I'm Maureen. I'm the founder and director of Pawsibility. So Pawsibility does counseling and social emotional development programs for children, youth, and young adults.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about the question asked today?
Oh, they were very insightful, and they're very good at tweaking, in getting us to spin off the questions and talk about more interesting things.
So why do you think the giving conversation is important in Singapore?
I think that Singaporeans need to do their part to give back to society. A lot of times we're very focused on our own needs and our here and now. But I think when when Singaporeans open up their heart and they experience the joy of giving, of volunteering, I think they experience a new kind of joy, and I think it helps the society as a whole to grow, I think. Yeah, so it benefits themselves and the society at large as well.